We're going to be discussing Book of Boba Fett, episode 5.
Yep.
With no Boba Fett.
Another actor turned with Bryce Dallas Howard coming back. I think this her third Star Wars thing that she's directed.
Third?
She did 2 episodes of Mandalorian and this.
Okay. Yeah, Bryce Dallas Howard is directing this. This is the best episode of Book of Boba Fett by far, and it doesn't even have Boba Fett in it, which is sad.
Yeah, it's like Mandalore. It's like a Boba just knew. Look, people are not caring about my show. Mando, can you come in and help a brother out real quick?
Yeah, it's like when an artist is on a song and he's like, "Listen, my song sucks. I need a good feature." Hey, brother, hey, 21 Savage, Drake, Future, Young Thug, could you help me out, man? I need a good feature to come on my song. You know what I mean? To boost this up.
Right. And they just said, okay, Alexa, play Return of the Mac.
Yeah, I mean, basically, because I thought at least he was going to show up. I'm like, they're not going to do a whole episode and not put Boba Fett in it, are they?
I thought it was just going to be like a quick intro and then it'd be back to Boba's story. But no, this is basically like a backdoor pilot for season 3 of Mandalorian.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I was like, this gets me really hyped for season 3 of Mandalorian, because I was curious, is like, what are they going to do after Baby Yoda's gone? What are they going to do story-wise? And it did build up to like, okay, so they got some good stuff for season 3 and some, later on seasons there.
Yeah, so a lot of good plot threads to follow up on in season 3. A lot of interesting new concepts, especially given the end of season 2. Like Mando, he's more or less gone back to bounty hunting. He's got the Darksaber now, which has a whole other lot of lore attached to it. That they dive deeper on in something like Star Wars Rebels, like how he's kind of struggling to use the Darksaber.
Kind of how he is struggling to kind of use the Darksaber.
He just accidentally like burns himself on it, which, if any of us ever got a lightsaber, that would probably happen. Like, that would probably happen, like, day 1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Hold on just a second real quick. Just trying to fix something. Something's not working here. Oh, what the hell? Come on. Okay, I think it's good. Okay. So you see kind of at the beginning of this episode, badass intro, by the way. As soon as
they knew the silhouette, they knew when to play that fucking Mando theme.
Absolutely, yeah. So he just, as soon as he steps out, it's just like boom, that music started playing. It's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? You know what's gonna happen.
And it's pretty much just a countdown for him to say the line, "I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold."
Yeah, it was badass. Yeah, it was definitely badass. It was like, wow, this is, and it's like, even the intro I thought was one of the best things that we've seen of this series so far. Even action wise of Boba Fett, all this year.
And it's weird to say because the best episodes of this show so far are the ones not directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think Robert Rodriguez with the show, it's just, I don't think his sensibilities really work that well with the show all that much, maybe. And I don't know, it's because you have an older actor in Tamir Morrison, but the thing is, with Boba Fett, you could just put on the helmet. You could just go like, okay, stunt double now.
You have an out, which is something that was so frustrating about shows like Iron Fist, where they just insisted on not covering his face ever.
Yeah, so it's just like, you could just have an out. I get you have an actor who's 61 years old, but you could just say like, okay, well, hey, time to put on the helmet, put in a stunt double there, there you go. You could do these action scenes, but, it's like, so that's kind of weird to me. But Here the opening of this, episode 5, and I thought, the whole the kind of the butcher stuff. I was like, well, this looks like just a regular butcher place or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I almost thought I clicked
Hmm.
on the wrong thing. I almost thought I was watching like some other different show almost for a second.
I,
Um,
I thought I thought I was watching Blade for a second.
Yeah, watching Blade or something like that. It's like, oh wait, what am I watching again? But yeah, it opens up really nice. And you see him use the dark saber. First of all, it's like he comes in. Mandalorian comes in as like a Skyrim character that's modded as fuck. Like he comes in
Hmm.
with all these different weapons. He's got the saber. He's got the staff. He's got the jetpack. He's got the blaster. I'm like, damn, bro, you just OP. This is like,
It's like in an RPG when you max out your character just playing on New Game Plus.
oh yeah, I mean it's just like he's got all the equipment, all the weapons, and he just is going through everybody, which was really great. And like I said, with the dark saber, the more you use it, the heavier it gets. So he's trying to swing
Hmm.
it at first, because at first I just thought that he just was clumsy. I was like, oh damn, he clumsy as hell with that. He just doesn't know how to
Hmm.
use it. But later on it gets revealed that the dark saber, like, it gets heavier the more you use it, and you have to really specialize in wielding it.
Yeah, it's. I think I quote from Rebels. It's like the way the dark saber is built. It's constantly channeling energy. It's not just from the kyber crystal in it. It's from the actual user. So the more you struggle like the blade, the more it's gonna resist you, and that's kind of why it gets heavier the more you use it.
Mm, yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, but it was so it's not just like a regular, lightsaber that you can just pick up and just kind of,
Hmm.
swing around. It's something completely different from it. So you see that kind of opening sequence. Then you see him go to meet the other Mandalorian people. Now there's only 3 of them left, including the
Hmm.
Mando. And you see him, kind of talk to what's that character's name? The kind of the leader now,
Oh, it's the armor.
the
It
armor.
is yeah. The character is just called the armorer, and I'm trying to remember the actor's name. Du- du- du.
Yeah. So he goes, he speaks to the armorer, and kind of lays out everything and about the history of the dark saber, that's why I like also more lore with the stuff too of Star Wars, and with these new elements
Mhm.
like the dark saber, like the history of the Mandalorian, and she explains the whole history there, which I thought was really cool and really dope there, and how like it basically you wield it. Basically, you're the king of all the Mandalorians. You're the leader of all the Mandalorians,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, and the biggest thing, it has to be won in combat, otherwise it's cursed.
Yeah, which he did do when he beat what was John
Yeah,
Carlo
Moff
Esposito.
Gideon.
Yeah,
When he beat Moff Gideon at the end of season 2.
yeah. So he did won it fair and square. Even though he gets challenged by this other Mandalorian immediately as he goes there. I thought the dude,
Because the blade was made by Tar Vizsla, who was the first Mandalorian Jedi hundreds of years ago,
mm,
and the Mandalorian challenge is called uh Paz Vizsla, so it's like his great grandfather or something. That's
mm,
why he feels like, hey, that's mine, motherfucker.
mm, yeah, big dozer looking guy, kind of in this Mandalorian armor,
Hmm.
challenges him to the kind of to the fight, ends up losing the fight, but and I'm kind of curious what they do, because the armorer asked him, hey, like, have you ever taken off your helmet? First he just kind of freezes, you know what I mean? It's like one of those choices in the Telltale game,
Hmm.
like, oh damn, do I tell the truth? Do I lie? Oh shit, like and he ends up just telling the truth, like, well,
Hmm.
yeah, I did take it off, because we all know he took it off to help to save Baby Yoda, get critical information to help save Baby Yoda. So, given the fact that, I mean, the Mandalorian isn't a real Mandalorian,
Hmm.
and given the fact that he did take off his helmet, I'm wondering why they just didn't take the saber for him on the grounds of that. I mean, is it still like, even if you're not a Mandalorian, even if you just,
Still, anybody can win the saber in combat. Like Darth Maul is not a Mandalorian, but he won it during Clone Wars. I think Sabine Wren during Rebels, she won the sword fair and square,
mm,
and then it was gifted to Bo-Katan at the end of Rebels, which they believe is why the Great Purge of Mandalore happened.
mm. Okay, yeah, and it corrects that issue, because there was like people said there's a
Hmm.
continuity kind of error there, where Bo-Katan got it because they say you only need to win in a combat. Like you said, it got gifted to her, so there was kind of a little bit of a continuity issue there. So they kind of
Yeah,
cleared that up.
and it's why Bo-Katan refuses it at the end of season 2.
Yeah. So it kind of, yeah, definitely, yeah, it kind of clears a lot of that stuff up. So with that, them kind of forging the kind of weapons out of his staff, them with kind of discussing the lore. I love that all that a lot at the beginning of the episode. What about kind of your thoughts there?
It's one of the more fascinating aspects about Star Wars because on paper we know a lot about Mandalore and the characters like Jango Fett off of small appearances in the Clone Wars and in Star Wars Rebels, but there is still so much that we don't know. Like, who exactly are this little sect of Mandalorians that we have in Djarin follow? Because it's implied that these like an offshoot of Death Watch, which is an antagonistic force in Clone Wars,
Mm.
and they've just taken their fanaticism to the absolute extreme.
Yeah, they're religious zealots, basically. You see, kind of in this world there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Westboro Baptist Church in Mandalore.
Yeah, so, yeah, kind of something like that a little bit. Yeah, just a little less bigotry. Yeah, it seems like. And then you see him, and then they make a nice little weapon. He wants a little weapon for. Still thinking about Baby Yoda. Still misses
Yeah,
Baby.
it's yeah. He gets I think he gets for Baby Yoda, and it's like in a pouch that's shaped like him.
Yeah, yeah, which is cute. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a little
He
cute.
misses his guy.
Yeah. So I thought that was cute, and then so you see him kind of leaving, going on a kind of a plane, basically, essentially, it's like a Star Wars version of a plane or Amtrak or whatever you want to call it. Back to Mos Eisley, Tatooine. And there he meets the character we saw in Mandalorian, the mechanic, who played by Amy Sedaris, who I never was a big fan of the mechanic character. Never really liked her all that much.
Yeah, she was kind of grating to me during her appearances on The Mandalorian, and it's not for that thing. I love Amy Sedaris, comic actress, but that character was just got on my nerves at some point. Here, I think she was probably better.
Yeah, I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm used to her now. It's like, but yeah, yeah. I thought she was maybe not as tolerable here. And then you see him with her, and then he needs a new spaceship because the old one got destroyed. So he needs, and then she's able to hook him up with I forgot the name of the starfighter, but it was the one Anakin had in Phantom Menace. The one he used.
Yeah, it was a Naboo starfighter from the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, it was the one that he had there. And which I thought was also a really good scene. Them rebuilding it, you know what I mean? Like it was like something out of Top Gear or something like that. Them getting the parts and them kind of fixing it up.
It makes the world feel more grounded when you spend time actually going into logistics of why something like a starfighter works. It reminded me a lot of what worked so well in like the first Iron Man, because you spent a lot of time with the minutia of building the first suit.
Yeah. So here you see them build this machine up from scratch. Even got the engine on the outside like it's some type of hot rod or something like that. And he's out there.
Yeah, it's like fixing up a hot rod with your family.
Yeah, and you see him kind of take it for a test drive, flying up. And then again, what adds more to the world as well. Some rebels come by, they stop him like it's a real, you know what I mean? Like, driving too fast, or they pull you over on the highway or something like that.
They pull him over.
Yeah, they're like, excuse me, sir, we're going to need your license and registration. You got
pull you over, license and registration.
Yeah, you've been drinking, sir? You've been drinking that blue milk, sir? Smell a little bit on your breath. They pull them over there. So I thought, again, that adds, more to the kind of the world there, seeing what the rebels are doing, seeing how they're kind of patrolling the galaxy, things like that. Are we still getting that Rangers of Republic show with the rebels? I thought we were getting like a rebel show with them. Is that still slated?
I think we're still getting Rangers of the New I'm not seeing it anywhere on like IMDb. I think it's still announced, but fucking Gina Carano had to fuck it up for everybody.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that the older guy, the older rebel pilot, was supposed to be in it. I think the older guy.
Paul Sun Hyung Lee, who you all know as a Appa from Kim's Convenience.
Mm, yeah. So I think he was supposed to be in it. But yeah, you see it and you see him just kind of just speed away and everything like that. And you see kind of the rebels discussing.
It's like, yeah, can you answer a few questions? And he's like, fuck y'all.
Yeah, just yeah, flies away and everything like that. I was like, oh yeah, he just said fuck your questions. And they go like, yeah, we could chase him, but what you file all that paperwork and chase him. Like, yeah, let's just go. Let's just
I don't
leave.
want to report that.
Yeah. So again, I think that adds a lot to the world. It makes it kind of feel, like you said, very grounded, very much like kind of like the real world, a lot of stuff like that, and which I did like and I did appreciate there. Um, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was kind of a very strong episode. Again, this is the best episode by far. I just don't want people to build up a lot of like Bryce Dallas Howard because I mean, if people say, well, she should get her own Star Wars series. It's like, listen, people did that with John Favreau and Dave Filoni when they first did The Mandalorian. And everybody was saying like, oh my God, these guys are so great. Oh my God, they're wonderful. They're terrific. They give them everything. Give them all the keys to Star Wars. And then now that the Book of Boba Fett is not so good, then a lot of people saying John Favreau sucks. What is good has John Favreau ever done? And it's like, Russ, like what she did with this
You're
episode.
only, well, it's just like fucking combat sports. You're only good as your last fight.
Yeah, and even though like Bryce Dallas Howard, like some of the episodes, I didn't like the Village episode she directed. Like that to me was very, it's very, very kind of such a plain episode. Like it was the episode where he went to the
Mm-hmm.
village and had the villager, and he had to help protect the
Yeah,
villagers, and they
that was
fought
kind of a
back.
weak episode, but
Mm, yeah, yeah, I thought that was particularly. Yeah,
yeah. Hey, you're cutting out a little bit.
I'm cutting out. Am I? You said I'm cutting out.
What the hell? Oh, sorry about that, man. You were cutting out for a second.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good now. But yeah, the first. Yeah, you're good now. No,
Okay.
you're good now. It's back up. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Her first episode, The Village in season 1, A Mandalorian, that was kind of weak sauce. It was a plot that had been done in Star Wars television like at least 4 times before. They literally have like the protect this village, teach them all to fight with their fucking sticks and shit. I think like twice during Clone Wars.
Yeah, yeah. So that was such a kind of plain episode. So I just don't want people to build it all the way up with her
But
and
yeah, but her second episode was fucking awesome with the reintroduction of Bo-Katan Kryze in season 2 of Mandalorian.
yeah, that was a good episode. Yeah, that was a very good episode. But I just don't want people to build her up again and then not just to knock her down and all that other stuff like that. Like let's
Mm-hmm.
just she's good, but let's just see what else we got here.